Hispanics are causing panic, baby. Let's do it.
We come out chased by hounds. Round and round we go, wearing a pinche rabbit's foot for luck, just ahead of the fucking hounds. ¿Qué hubo? ¡Ah! ¡Qué vida es! ¡Qué loca vida, home!
Como decimos en México, hay que dejarnos de mamadas. No hay que... Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
I invite him into the ring, and like we say in Mexico, we don't fuck around. We don't fight for rings and stuff like that. I don't fear anyone.
En este deporte no se viene a jugar y no le tengo miedo a nadie.
We don't come to play in this sport. I fear no one in this sport.
What's your prediction for the fight, then?
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
Como decimos en México, hay que dejarnos de mamadas.
We come out chased by hounds.
Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me and G Funky here on Archive. This is Hispanics Causing Panic episode número 53. 52, number 52. And it is March 9th. D-Style Boxing turns 23 years old today, G Funky. You know what I mean? You know, living the young life. You know, it feels good to be young and fresh, you know?
Yeah, man. I remember those days, you know, but those were a long time ago for me.
Yeah, well, you know, add a couple more years and I'm right there. You know, I mean, Raw Boxing TV on here. How's it going? Says happy birthday. I appreciate it. What's going on with 92 AKU Sontel Media? Okay, on here as well. And Outlaw. Make sure you share this video on all your social media platforms. Hashtag HCP. Let's take over that hashtag. Okay, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. Hit my like button. Throw a nice jab at it. All right. And especially if you're listening on Archive. All right. Chief Funky, how's it going, brother? How you doing?
Doing well, man. I'm excited. We got a good fight coming up this weekend. Several good fights, actually. So, yeah, I'm pumped up, man. Ready for the show.
You are you saying you were born ready? Like Canelo, you know what I mean? Like born ready?
That's right, baby. I was born ready. Let's do it.
That's just absolutely. Check it out. First of all, shout out to Leave It in the Ring Network. Everybody listening on the Apple Podcast. Okay, make sure you give us 5 stars on there. iHeart, iTunes, and Pandora. You can catch us there as well. Spotify is another location we could hear us on that podcast forum, as well as all the other great, Leave It in the Ring content. All right, McCaskill Braekhus. It's on rematch. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. That's a hell of a card, by the way. Okay, let me just put that out there. I see all these fans, bro, that try to find negatives and everything. I don't know if it's just a boxing thing, but they're like, but it doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't they want to be in their own main event on a different day? Like why, bro? Are you a fan? Don't you want to watch like a good fight card? Like you're gonna get the undisputed welterweight championship of the world on the line. Okay, Braekhus trying to get her belt back. McCaskill from Chicago, the reigning defending undisputed champion. And that's the pre-main event to Gallo Estrada versus Chocolatito Gonzalez. Gee, fuck you. What do you make about this, this fight card, man? But not just that. McCaskill, Braekhus. I mean, you called the last time you said you felt Braekhus was going to win that fight. Do you feel any differently this time? And just to add to that, are you more confident this time than you were the first time?
Well, I am excited for this fight card, and got to give DAZN some credit. They're going to be pretty busy this month. We got a couple more big fights coming up this month after this one, but this one right here is is really, really good. The main event, co-main event. I know we don't really like to use that term around here, but the undisputed championship of the world for the women in the welterweight division, McCaskill versus Braekhus, and yeah, I did call that first time. The first time that they fought, McCaskill, a big underdog. I just got the sense like, you know, she's young, she's hungry. Braekhus been doing her thing for a long time, and you know she was due. I just felt, but as far as feeling confident going into the fight, I do, and I am taking McCaskill again for the win, and I do feel pretty confident going in, maybe even a little bit more, you know, this time. So yeah, I'm excited, man. Can't wait to see it.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, maybe Braekhus this time doesn't come out as aggressive, and maybe she sticks to her boxing, and maybe that gives McCaskill more of a challenge. But one has to think maybe McCaskill was already preparing for that, you know, and she already knows, hey, I could take on her if she gets aggressive with me. I'm ready for that, and I've already been preparing for her to, you know, box. You know, the one thing that's underrated in this game is, you know, and I'm using the word game loosely, it's that mental aspect, you know. And I'm watching these interviews, I'm watching Braekhus, and she sounds like she's done with the sport. I'm starting to feel that maybe she just wants another. She's like, you know what? Maybe I could have another go at this. You know, I had a long reign. It took my belt, but I can get another payday out of this. But that's how it's feeling. By the way, shout out to Boxing Historian, LT, Run PMC, Outlaw, No Paul Boxianos, Brown Gone 1, and all you guys, man. Shout out to you guys. Hit my like button. Share this video on all your social media platforms. Do you believe that Braekhus is coming into this fight trying to win, G Funky, or well, let me rephrase that. All fighters come to win, but you know, do you think she's really focused like she should be, or does she have one foot out the door?
You know, I felt she had one foot out of the door immediately after the first fight. Just the way that she was kind of like, I mean, everybody handles a loss differently. I mean, we've seen people handle losses with true professionalism, like she did, and then we see guys go crazy like Deontay Wilder when they lose. With her, I felt like, you know, she was very gracious and very professional in the loss, but I did get that sense of like, you know, her saying like, oh, I'm tired, you know, I've been doing this a long time. I just want to go home and be with my family. I do kind of sense that she's, you know, got one foot out the door. But another thing I noticed when I was looking at both fighters going into that fight, Braekhus, to me, she just seemed to be slowing down. Like I really sensed that she was slowing down a bit. Almost like Sugar Ray Leonard said about Marvin Hagler. You know, he didn't look like the same guy anymore. Then he decided to get in there and take his shot at the middleweight champion of the world. And same thing with McCaskill. You know, I think that they saw that, because I mean, to me it just seemed that way. Like her performance in the first fight, I mean, the fight before was good, but it wasn't like the normal. You know. And then when I see McCaskill, she looked hungry. She's very aggressive. You know, she looks very strong. I said, I gotta pick her. I think she's gonna do it. And I feel the same way. I feel like she's hearing a lot of people saying they don't think that she deserved the win, but I feel like it was a clear-cut victory, and I think she's ready to prove that, yes, I did beat her the first time. I'm going to beat her again this time. But no shame. And you know, Braekhus, she's had a great career, you know, and if it's time to hang him up, then, you know, I say, hey, thanks for the great fights, and, you know, we'll move on, you know, but she's a great fighter for sure.
More people coming on here. Tracy Boxer Girl says happy birthday. D-Style T says happy birthday as well. Boxing Historian snitching on my age, bro. Like, what's going on over here? Okay. But yes, that is correct. 37 years old. All right. 37 and proud. You know, Boxing Dialogue says I'm really starting to pay attention to these smaller weight classes. Absolutely, man. They're getting good, and we have a hell of a fight coming, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Alexa says, happy birthday. Shout out to you. So tell me that I heard the trains up at the summit and Big Bear with Abel. That can be easy. And by the way, guys, Sontel got his tee, bro. Looks fire. Okay, with that second edition, D-Style boxing tee. All right. We'll share that later. All right. I'll say this, man. I still believe that Braekhus can pull it off. Like she'll have to execute, of course. She'll have to have a very disciplined game plan. It might not be the most exciting fight for us fans to watch, but it's what she has to do. Like she really needs to get on the move, get on the bicycle a little bit, utilize her jab and her movement. Now, she's getting up there in age. I don't know if she can do it, right? And McCaskill can definitely put on that pressure, but I just have it's not a confident pick, but I'm still going to stick with my Braekhus winning that rematch pick reluctantly because I do believe she can pull it off. And I do believe she's not going to try the same game plan as the first fight. She's going to try to box her. I felt the first fight was pretty close. And, we'll see how that goes, though. But if McCaskill wins, then, hey, Chicago, stand up. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Tracy Proskero says McCaskill's from my city. There you go. Chicago, Illinois. All right. I'm 7 years older than you, Brian. Absolutely. Okay. Well, nice to know. But you're still in your 30s, though. You know what I mean? You're still in your 30s. So that's that. That's that. Who do you guys got in the chat? Let us know who you have winning this fight. McCaskill or Braekhus. Go, get official with it. All right. I know LT's over there like, no quiero ver a las viejas pelear. Like, well, too bad. I'm going to make you pick anyway. Pick one. All right. Not how they look in a bikini, LT, how they fight. All right. That's what I want to know. At the end of the day, what's all these people surprised that I'm 37 years old, bro? Do I look that good? Do I look that young? Did I find a fountain of youth? They want to know my secrets or what? What's going on? I just want to know what's going on over here. Is it the hoodie? Is it the hoodie that I got? That makes me look good. What is it?
We should ask him who looks older, D-Style or myself. I think we both look pretty young for our age, though. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah, that's right. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's a matter of finding that fountain of youth, bro. That's all. That's it. All right. So, hey, man, you know what I do think is that I'm excited to watch this fight card. I've been excited for it, and I hope people, at least for this weekend, can we drop we don't get the good fights in boxing when you have an undisputed fight, and then the next fight we're going to talk about Chocolatito versus El Gallo. Oh, man, I've been waiting for this rematch, you funky. I've been waiting for this rematch, let me tell you, for a while. And I thought we would never get it. And the reason I thought that was Chocolatito Estrada got knocked out by a Rungazai, and I just thought, okay, he's done. I counted him out. But look at Chocolatito came back. Chocolatito turned the corner. Chocolatito proved a lot of his doubters wrong and saying he can't come back from that devastating loss. But he did. And we should have probably known better because, one loss is not defying a fighter. So we should probably known better about that. But before you tell us about the fight itself, G-Funky, who did you have winning that first fight?
I did score it for El Gallo, but, it's one of those fights. If somebody said Chocolatito won, I'm not going to argue. It was just a lot of back and forth, real good action, all 12 rounds. But, man, it's I think that for me, I felt like Estrada – I felt like he controlled the ring a little bit more than Chocolatito did that night. I felt like he was landing the cleaner combinations, although looked like to me Chocolatito was throwing more punches, but I felt like he was landing the much more cleaner punches. He was a ring general. Not a whole lot of defense from either guy. A lot of punches landed. So I did feel like Estrada won the fight, but close fight, man. And It's been 9 years since that fight, and we're finally getting a rematch, and it's this weekend, man. I just can't believe 9 years ago, man. It's crazy.
That is crazy, and I just believe that one has regressed, and one I think has aged like fine wine, and that's Gallo. You know what I mean? And I
Mm-hmm.
saw an interview of his, man. Like he wants this fight, and the circumstance in which he got it is good too. Like seeing Chocolatito come back, and he's not getting him right out of a loss or something like that. So it was a good time to make the fight. Chocolatito and Gallo himself, had a good showing in the last card, and they took a risk putting Cuadras in the ring with Gallo, but it's a fight he wanted. And look, he talked about how he's avenged 2 of his 3 losses, and he wants to avenge the one with Chocolatito. You know what I mean? But who do you got winning this fight, Chief Funky?
I'm gonna go with Del Gallo again, man. I have to agree with what you said. I feel like I want to say this first, man, before I say why, because I feel like Chocolatito's gotten a bad rap. He was a guy who got a tremendous amount of hate for some reason back when he was on the pound for pound list a few years back. But the guy's been doing his thing. Like this is the thing I don't understand. I know that there's a lot of people that don't like to watch the smaller weight classes, but this guy, has put in the work, and I feel like that spot was deserved at the time. He had 3 hard fights in a row, man. Cuadras and 2 with Sorong Visay, one where he was stopped, knocked out flat. But the first fight was a brutal fight, brutal 12-round fight, and to think about it, he's been in those 3 really, really good fights, and one where he's been knocked out. Comes back, knocks another guy. I can't remember the guy he fought when he first came back. Knocked him out. Had a good performance against another guy named Israel Gonzalez in the last fight. He could come through all that, and if he gets the win Saturday, he could be back on the pound for pound list after all that. So we got to give that guy some credit, man. And if he gets the job done Saturday, wow, that would be crazy. I just don't think it's going to happen because I agree with what you said. I feel like the fight was at, I believe, a smaller weight class the first time. Now they're at super flyweight. I feel like when both guys moved up in weight as the years went on, I feel like Estrada was, more comfortable going up in weight. That's where Chocolatito was a lot more comfortable in the smaller weight class. Like in the first weight class that they fought in. I don't feel like his punches carry the same amount of steam that they do going up. We still see he can throw a ton of punches. He could still box. He still puts a lot of pressure on you. But I just don't feel like his shots. I feel like he can't get the same respect with his shots at this weight class. That was very apparent to me in the Sorong Visay fights, both of them. Because he was still able to land some clean shots, and I mean a lot of clean shots on that guy, and he was able to take those shots. Guys in the lower weight classes, they wouldn't be able to stand up to a lot of those shots. And when I see Estrada in both of his fights with Sorong Visay and in the Cuadras fight, I feel like his punches are a lot faster, and he carries a lot more power. I feel like he's a lot more comfortable at this weight than Chocolatito. They're both very evenly matched, though. But those are the things that I think are going to win the fight for Estrada. I think punching power, speed. He's a little bit younger, and I think he's going to pull off the victory. But I would not be surprised if Chocolatito pulls it off. But I'm going to roll with my main man, El Gallo Estrada, and this is for him right here, man. Hold on, give me a second.
There you go. El Gallo Estrada, man, I got Gallo winning all day, bro. Like Gonzalez is really good at this weight. You know what I mean? He is. They're about 7 pounds or so north right now than when they first fought, which is a big deal with these, little guys. You know what I mean? And Estrada looks like he's doing just fine in this week in these weights. I see him like there was a fight where he was just like putting his hands down and not even worried about the guy in front of him, which I'm not recommending for him to be doing, especially not against Chocolatito. But he looks really, really comfortable. Martin Esparza just fought last weekend, historian. But I have Chocolatito winning in what I believe is going to be a fight of the year candidate. Because even though we can both agree that Chocolatito is not doing as great in these weight classes like his counterpart Gallo, right? Even if we agree on that, man, we had the Chocolatito's trainer on here, bro, and he was like talking about the hunger of Chocolatito and how this is such a big legacy fight for him, and he knows it. Like he understands, that winning this fight, what you can never erase a knockout loss, right? But if he can beat Gallo Estrada, like even though he lost to Rangisa and even though he got knocked out, he still like gets a big win against the best guy in the division. That would be huge. And I have to think that he's coming to this fight with a chip in his shoulder and with something to prove. He has to be. He has to be hearing G Funky. Everybody's literally picking him to lose against a guy who we already beat. Now I understand many of us scored it but the fight could have gone either way, right? But he won the fight, and people are saying you're not going to win. You can't beat him, and that's one of the biggest. That can motivate a fighter. It's like that song says, "I'm not as good as I once was, but I could be as good as I was one more time." Something like that. Like, and if you could put it together for this fight, I think we're in for a hell of a fight. To quote good old JR, what did it say, G Funky?
A barn burner?
Yeah, be old good old barn burner. I think that's what we're gonna get, bro. The fire and everything. It's gonna be a hell of a fight because I just don't see Chocolatito backing down. I just don't. And if he's falling behind the scorecards, he's gonna get more aggressive. I do believe that. And that could turn the fight around for him, or it could get dangerous for him. I don't know. But I think we're in for a 12-round war. I do. Fight of the year candidate. I think it's what we have on our hands. It might be Chocolatito's last stand. Maybe the last time we see him in this type of fight. I do have Gallo Estrada winning the fight. But, man, is Chocolatito going to make a showing? He's going to show out. I do believe that. And it's one thing about these weight classes, you Funky, the lower weight classes. You don't see guys just settle for losing a white on the scorecards like that. Just don't. You don't see guys check out and it's just like be comfortable with, well, at least I'm not going to get knocked out. I'll just have a silent agreement with the opponent in front of me and just let him go ahead and win on the scorecards. No, ladies and gentlemen. No. They're more often than not, they'll try to show out. More often than not, they'll try to go for that knockout, even if it seems inevitable that they're going to lose. I see fighters go out in their shield more in the lower weight classes than I do in the higher weight classes. I just see it more, and maybe because they could take more risk, and stuff like that. Because the lower you go in weight classes, you don't see as many knockouts, right? But it's still a thing, and that's a great thing about the lower weight classes. Do you think this could be a competitive fight, Chief Funky, or better yet, a fight of your candidate?
I feel like it can be competitive. I don't know, man. I just feel like Estrada's gonna pull away in this second half of the fight. Maybe not the second half. Maybe like the last, championship rounds. I think he's gonna take over. I just feel like he's much stronger at this weight class. I mean, the way that I seen him fight Sorong V-side, the way that the way that he made him respect his punches in both of those fights showed me a lot about the punching power. Like he was walking through everything Chocolatito was hitting him with, and he was hitting him with some shit. Let me tell you, that was a brutal fight. And even the second fight, he was walking through some shit, and then it knocked him out. You know,
Right.
I just feel like his punching power is much greater at this weight class, and I just think he's physically stronger and just better guy right now. But I agree with what you said. A guy like Chocolatito, who's been, you know, at the top of the mountain, not to quote Hulk Hogan, but, you know, at the top of the mountain, brother, you know, he's been there. He's got an opportunity to get back there, you know. And I think he's the kind of guy that's going to say, yeah, man, I'm going to work hard. We all know he works hard in the gym. He's going to come fully prepared, man. So I think, yeah, for the first 9 rounds or so, it's going to be a really close competitive fight. But then I think that Estrada is going to take over as the fight went on, much like he did with Cuadras. You know, even Cuadras dropped him. Even though that was a little bit controversial, who knows if that punch should have even counted, because that timekeeper let that round go on for like another 30 seconds, you know? So it was right on the border of possibly
Try
the
a
bell
minute.
ringing. Yeah, it was right on the border of that bell ringing when he got hit with that uppercut and he went down. But we saw he was able to get dropped, get hurt, get back up, and finish this guy, knock him down 2 times, and the referee had to step in. So, yeah, like I said, I just feel like he's just the stronger, better guy right now, and I'm going to roll with him.
I do agree with that. Now, the question Cholo Boxing is asking is this that thing looks like Ruben Guerrero right there, bro. But shout out to you, brother. But he says that if Estrada wins, should there be a third fight? It depends on the fight.
Yeah.
Look, if Chocolatito gets destroyed, there's no need for trilogy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just there's no need for it. You know, if Gallo like puts him out like Valdez did Rochelle, there really isn't a need for a rematch. You know what I mean? Like why? For what? I think at that point, Gallo should look at some other options, bro. Like, personally, yeah. I mean, so some people might think I'm crazy, but I mean, maybe bantamweight. I mean, why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's of course you're going to fight slightly bigger men now, but it's another accomplishment you can make right there. You know, just imagine this for a moment. Just imagine it for a moment for me. Gallo Estrada versus Inoue.
Ooh.
I mean, some people might be like, what? But I like Gallo Estrada's chances. Just, I know we're far away from there. I'm not giving a prediction right now on that, but what I'm saying is that's a hell of a fight, right? Like, if
Possibility that could happen, yeah. And there's some good guys there. I mean, I believe the Maloney and Franco, they're both at bantamweight, right? Or are they 122? They're right around there. You know, those are good fights too. You know.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. But look. I just can't say. It just depends on the fight. That's my answer for that. Shout out to Shushan Boxing, Raider from LA in the building. Run PMC, how's it going, guys? We're talking Chocolatito versus El Gallo. Are they going to have that dude, bro? ¿Quién es el más macho? He's with ESPN, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen him on ESPN since they've been in the bubble.
Oh, really?
He might be there. Yeah, he might be. What's his name? Lupe Contreras, right? Something
Lupe
like
Contreras,
that.
something like that. Yeah. I like it when it's like Latino versus Latino. I like him as a commentator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like. Look, my favorite is Michael Buffer, obviously. You know what I mean? But to be specific, when it's two, like a Mexican versus Puerto Rican, Mexican versus Mexican, whatever, I like Lupe. You know what I mean? Like, I think he does a good job. You know,
he's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and to give my answer to Cholo Boxing, and a lot of you guys that are familiar with HCP know my thing is this: if the fight's not close, no need for a rematch. If it's a close fight and and Estrada wins a decision, then why not? Yeah, I agree. Have a rubber match, but if it's not a close or competitive fight, or if one guy gets knocked out pretty quickly, or he gets dominated 6-7 rounds and gets knocked out, then no, I don't want to see it again. That's the same reason why I keep telling all these guys I don't need to see Lopez versus Lomachenko again. And to me, beat him 9 rounds to 3. It's not a close fight, but people want to see it, and it might actually happen. But for me, I don't necessarily need to see that again,
Those coming in, you're listening to the Hispanic Causing Panic podcast. Jab my like button. March 9th. It is, of course, a really important day. You know what I mean, G Funky? It is my birthday. So I just want to put that out there. You know what I mean? And this is a segment where G Funky's going to sing me the mañanitas. Go ahead, G Funky. Estas son las mañanitas.
We know who's the singer here. D-Style El Cantante.
you know what the song reminds me of, bro? Like this fight. You remember that Alice in Chains song?
The Rooster. Yeah. Dude, you should have told me. I would have played it before we went live, man. Like right at the beginning. That would have been dope.
Ain't found a way to kill me yet. Now, we got to sing it in Spanish, bro. You can sing this in Spanish. It's a corrido, bro. Like mariachi corrido. You know what I mean? Todavía no ha encontrado una manera de matarme. Holy shit, bro. This shit's a corrido in Spanish, bro.
Dude, you just gave me an idea. If I make a post fight or a prediction on my
channel, quieren venir por el gallo, pero todavía no me pueden matar. Like, holy shit, bro. Alice in Chains has a corrido rock. Like, if you translate it, it's a corrido, bro. Like, I swear to God, bro. Look at this. Ain't find a way to kill me yet. Eyes burn and seen sweat. Seems every path leads me to nowhere. Wife and kids, household pet. Army green was no safe bet. The bullet screamed from me from somewhere. You know what I mean? Coco the Don on here. Boxing historian, Chushan, Tracy Girl. How's it going? No Paul. Boxiano's Raider from LA. What's up? But yeah, I'm just saying, bro, we need a that would be a hell of an entrance. Like, just do it in Spanish. You know what I mean? And there you go. All right. Shout out to Alice in Chains.
Classic song there, man. I think he wrote that song about his dad who was in Vietnam or something like that. But great song either way.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hey, man, great. Alice in Chains was one of my favorite grunge, very underrated band from the early 90s for sure. Not talked about enough. And hey, shout out to them. You know what I mean? Seattle scene, stand up. Hey, boxing historian, you know anything about? Oh, he commented about it. He's from Seattle. I just wanted to make sure there's not a generational gap there. You know what I mean? All right. Hey, by the way, breaking news. But for real though, not new media breaking news, like real breaking news. So Jose Gonzalez, 15-0, nicknames the same Chocolatito. Right? I believe the nephew. I should have wrote that down, but I believe it's the nephew of Chocolatito Gonzalez who'll be fighting. He's going to be on HCP next week. All right?
That's right.
So make sure you guys tune in for that one. Put it in your calendar and tune in for that one for sure. All right?
Right.
So we'll have him on next
right now.
Yeah. Pencil it in. We're going to have somebody else, for sure as well. All right? Tone Toledo. How's it going, brother? All right. So I got Gallo Estrada and a fight of the year candidate. You got him in basically going away.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be a clear decision this time for him.
Will it be exciting? Will it be exciting though?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I just feel like to me he just seems to get stronger as the fight goes on now that he's at this weight class and that he's matured a little bit more since that first fight. I felt like he pulled away both times against Sorong V side, and then we saw, like I said, he got dropped and was able to get up and stop Cuadras in the rematch. So I think Lady's going to take over.
Okay, and I could see that, man. Like maybe the fact that he's more like acclimated to this weight class, more comfortable in it. That's usually what happens, right? The guy that's feels better at that weight takes over in the second half. That's just the way it happens. If you remember, completely different type of fighters and all that. But when like Hopkins fought De La Hoya, after like 4 rounds, De La Hoya was like, "Man, this dude's too big." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that'll be the case exactly here, but it's just like a reference I wanted to make right there for sure. All right, hey guys, let us know who you guys got. McCaskill, Braekhus, and Chocolatito versus El Gallo. Who do you got, man? I got a Gallo Estrada all day. All right. It's G-Funk. Let me ask you an unfair question.
Go ahead.
Gallo Estrada or Inoue, who wins? 118.
118? Man.
180 pounds, yeah.
That's a good fight, man. I think that's a 50-50 fight, to be honest with you. Anyway is
that's the initial feeling, right? The initial feeling.
Yeah, it's like a 50-50 fight. Although I feel like Inoue, has some defensive liabilities out there. Others might disagree with me. That's okay. But we know he can get hit, Same thing with El Gallo. He's got his issues. Like, I don't like the way he circles out sometimes. He leaves his hands down, especially that left hand. And Chocolatito was landing a lot of clean right hands on him in that first fight. But I think it's a 50-50 fight. I would probably favor Inoue slightly right now. But depending on how I see him look against Chocolatito this Saturday, that might change if that fight ever happens,
Hey guys, you know what you guys can give me for my birthday? A jab to the like button. You know how easy that is? Like, boom, oh shit. You know what I mean? H Money in the building. How's it going? Shushan says, in a way, H Money says Francisco Estrada will knock out Chocolatito. Just like that. You're going to have your neighbors over, G Funky? Or from Nicaragua?
Man, I was hoping to. Unfortunately, the pandemic hasn't cleared up, but that was definitely something that I was looking forward to. But I do have a couple of wagers on the line with a few of them, so it'll still be fun to watch,
Right. Well, hey, FaceTime him. You know what I mean? They'll probably won't answer if he loses, though.
Yeah.
Oh, man. David Benavidez will be coming back. He'll be fighting Ronald Ellis. Man, I'm pumped. Are you pumped, you fucky?
Not really. Got to be honest.
You know what I am pumped about? Really. I am pumped about seeing David back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm glad he's staying active. He kept his word, said that he was going to stay at 168. And this fight is at 168. So credit to him, man. I heard from some people that what happened with him missing weight, because he just barely missed weight. It had something to do with the bubble, whatever. And you know what? I trashed him for it, man, because I just don't like guys making excuses. But he said, hey, I can still make the weight, and he's there, and he's staying really active, and I like it, man. Hopefully, after this fight, he fought some guy named Angulo in his last fight. Now he's fighting Ellis. Hopefully there's a big fight for him next at 168. But I am glad to see El Bandera Roja back.
Bandera Roja, man, coming back. He did say, you know what, I had other choices, but he's the only one that signed to fight me. And I appreciate for that super sticker. Shout out to Alexis. 92 says David B is much. I think you meant must watch. He comes to bang. Absolutely. No doubt about the boxing store. I buy you a triple. I'm not sure. A Patron. Okay. All right. Cool. I'll take some Patron. You know what I mean? Chief Funky fell off. I don't know what happened. I think his internet, messed up there on him. It's all good. All right. David Benavidez. There he is. David Benavidez. Here's what I really want to talk about. I keep hearing that he's the boogeyman, Chief Funky. Shout out to Joe Lopez 40 ounce. How you doing, brother? What's up with that, Chief Funky?
Yeah, I'm hearing the same thing.
Remember Scott Hall? Ooh, like I want to see Canelo do that one day. Like, oh, are you scared of him? Ooh, I'm so scared. You know, like.
Oh, good wrestling reference there, man, with the Outsiders. Shout out to Scott Hall, man. Is he the boogeyman? I mean, I don't know. I think it's too early to say that. They haven't really put him out there against a name that where we could say, yeah, he's definitely the boogeyman. But I can tell you this: Charlo ain't trying to see him, so maybe there is some truth to that. Jamal Charlo, came up with all these stipulations. First he wanted to talk trash about Benavidez, and then he wants to come up with all these things. Oh, it must be over 25. Oh, you must be vaccinated. Now it's got to be at a catch weight. Benavidez says yes to all that. Even his dad, shout out to 97 Rough, leaving in the ring, interviewed him, and he said, we love that fight. We think that's a huge fight. We reached out to the promoter. Let's do it, but hasn't happened yet. But we kind of know what the deal is with that. But I don't know if I would call him a full-on boogeyman yet, though,
Yeah, I like no Paul specified. You know what I mean? He's a boogeyman for Charlo. You know what I mean? Alexa says Canelo fears no man. You know what I mean? Like nobody. Like you know what I mean? Look, let me just specify this, guys. These fighters aren't scared of one another like that. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't be professional fighters if they were scared of fighting, right? Like that nervous feeling you get when you're in a fight. You know what I mean? You know that nervous energy, like that. Like fighters don't really get that. I'm not saying they don't get nervous before a fight and stuff like that, but they're not like scared of contact and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like now, do they try to protect their do they stuff like that? Sure. All right. David Benavidez is calling every dude out. And my only criticism was, and I think, and I'll stand by this, is that he didn't make weight in the last fight. And now he has to come back, prove that he can make the weight, and that's his opportunity now to redeem himself. And then he's back in the mix. Just like that. Let's get the guy back in the mix is all I'm saying, man. At the end of the day, right? No pauses. What's next? He's going to want the DNA test to make sure they're not related. Damn, bro. No. Like he wants everything, bro. He wants his social. He wants to make sure, everything. Nobody under 24, 25, whatever the age was, man. Shit's ridiculous, bro. Come on.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. To me, it sounded like one of those things in the personals when you're looking for a date. Must be vaccinated, must be under 25 or over 25, and all these weird stipulations, man.
Well, from my understanding, Dave Benavidez doesn't want to take the vaccine, right?
I thought he said in a recent interview that he would do it. But
okay. But my thing is, if he doesn't test positive for it, what's the big deal?
I mean, everybody takes a test going into these bubbles. There should be
Derenchenko didn't fight him. He didn't have to take no
COVID test or no vaccine. Well, there was no vaccine then, but he didn't have an issue fighting during the pandemic. In the bubble, like
give him credit for that. This is what he said, bro. He said they asked him, "Who do you want to fight next?" He said, "Charlo." Why, Benavidez? Why do you want to fight Charlo? Why are you picking on him? Because the dude said he could knock me out. Those are fighting words, bro. All right? Yeah. You tell a fighter, hey, you know what? I can knock you out. Like they're gonna be okay, then prove it. You saw Regis Progress did the same shit with Tank. See that?
Yeah, I sure did see that.
Hey, you want to fight or what? They're trying to fight Mario Body. They like pull up on me. All right? Pull up on me. At the end of the day. 92 Oku. Okay, he's 160. Oh, he's a little itty bitty little Charlo. He's an itty bitty little guy. You know what I mean? If he's too small to fuck with Benavidez, then don't run your mouth. How about that?
Just do this.
If you're too small, or too little, and too brittle, shut your mouth. Don't
Right.
say anything.
Cállate el hocico.
Hey, shout out to Toledo. Do you believe Benavidez could have missed weight on purpose and fight? I mean, no, I don't think he missed weight on purpose. I think quarantine was happening, and it's the explanation makes sense. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't getting the diet he was used to, and he missed a day of training and stuff like that, and that matters. I'm not, obviously we still have to, penalize him for that, strip him of the belt. But that's what I've always said, man. He could always come back. If that's what it was, he should be able to fix that. Come back and, and get back in the mix. That's all, But I remember we had a show, G-Funk, and I said, let's not crown this guy or not give him boogie man status. Mike from Boston, how's it going? But let's say he wins this fight. I mean, Charlo's got to fight him, bro. Like he just has to. Charlo's going around saying nobody wants to fight him, and and I think, that saying, if you knock on the devil's door, he might just answer the door,
Yeah, well,
he
there's
knocked,
another.
and he opened the door. That what's up? Oh, nothing. Never nah, bro.
Wrong house. That's what it seems like. And I'm just I'm sick and tired of hearing this guy is avoided. This is an opportunity for him to go up to 168, make a name for himself. You beat Benavidez, you put yourself in a position to fight for all the belts at 168. We know Canelo's cleaning up the division right now. He just beat the Ring Magazine and WBA champ in Smith. Now he's going to take on Billy Joe Saunders, who's a WBA champion. So he better make his move, man. He better do something and stop selling all these wolf tickets. You know what I'm saying? Benavidez says he's ready to do it. His dad says he's ready to do it. So let's do it.
That's what he does when he tries to sell tickets, bro. Anyway, look, man. I mean, at the end of the day, he can fight Andre, but he's saying he won't fight Andre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you keep keep burning the bridges.
He flat out said this when he was asked, why not fight Andrade when the Canelo fight wasn't available for him? He said, "Nah, I'm not fighting him. Nobody knows him. I don't want to fight him." Like, what do you mean nobody knows him? Like, dude's a champion in your division. Like, doesn't make sense to me. But hey, people want to believe what they want to believe, man. We all know he ducked that fight with Canelo. He was offered a lot of money. Even his own brother came out and said it, and he said no. So I'm not into the whole he's an avoided fighter. That's just no. I'm sorry. Charlo's good, but he's got to get to work, man.
Shout out to.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say the other brother is doing his thing, man. He's I got no issues with what he's doing.
Somebody asked about do Mexican nationals consider Mexicans or Chicanos, I should say, Mexican. Here's my issue with this, bro. I think people overcomplicate this thing. Where you live does not define you. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. It just doesn't, bro. Both my parents were Mexican. I'm Mexican. It's really that simple. It's not it's like that complicated. Mexican nationals who happen to be born in Mexico don't dictate that. But that's all I wanted to say about that, really. I mean, it's not that complicated. But David Benavidez is an American citizen of Mexican descent.
Yeah.
Simple as that. It's not that complicated. You know what I mean? So, but let me ask you this, you funky. Not to put Canelo on the spot, but when Canelo says, and by the way, shout out to Retro Boxing Documentaries, Jose Yepes out here, 92 Bruce Goes. How's it going, guys? Brown Gown 1. How's it going? Hit my like button, all right?
Don't forget to do that.
Let's have since that was brought up, because it's tied into this. That's you know what I like to do, Chief Funky. You know what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
keep it boxing. But let's take that and put it in boxing. Canelo said, right, that he would he's not interested in fighting Mexican fighters right now, pretty much, right? Do you take that as anyone of Mexican descent, or do you take that as guys out of Mexico? Well, in boxing, I appreciate that, brother. Go ahead.
That's a tough one because, like you said, with us, it's a little bit different because, I don't want to get too big into history, but, this was our land prior to all these borders being here. So, I mean, the way I look at it is we're all the same, but a lot of people don't. And when you look at David Benavidez' record on BoxRec or wherever in the rankings, you're going to see a USA with the red, white, and blue flag next to his name. So I guess that's all up to Canelo's interpretation to what he believes is a Mexican fighter. From my understanding, I believe he was talking about Jaime Munguia when he said that. But, I mean, I'm not too sure. But a fight with David Benavidez, you guys know I wanted that fight for a long time. Canelo and David Benavidez. I think that's a hell of a fight. I think that's the one guy that presents the most trouble for him right now in the division. Right next to the guy he's fighting next, which is Billy Joe Saunders. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of a hard question to answer, But technically, I guess if you want to get technical, when they fight, if they ever do, you'll see a Mexico flag next to Alvarez at the bottom, and you'll see a United States flag next to Benavidez when they do fight.
Right. It's a nationality. Now, yes, I don't know. I can't confirm if Chavez himself called De La Hoya. I'm not saying that's not true, by the way. I'm just saying I don't know. A shout out to Calix. How's it going, man? Ant-Man, how's it going? Shout out to all you guys. I don't know what he said, but he was being called that, De La Hoya. You know what I mean? Maybe it was started by Chavez. I don't know about in this like he was getting booed in East LA. You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying. Like I remember when Juan Diaz was going to fight Marquez, and they had like that promo. Remember they would have promos for the walkouts, and Marquez literally said, "He said I'm going to win because I'm 100% Mexican. Juan Diaz is just 50% Mexican." I'm like, whoa, okay, so there is dynamics there. You know what I mean? I get it. You know what I mean? Like, but they're the same genetically, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
Same shit. Like it's just you're just born on a different side of the line or the
pretty
wall.
Much.
Like that now.
Yeah, that's really what it is. When I was a young man, I've worked with a lot of Mexicans that were from Mexico, and they have this belief. Now, I'm not saying all of them think this way, but this particular group that I was working with said, they had this belief that we have it so easy in this country, and they have it so hard and things like that. But I had to educate them on the struggle here. What my parents had to go through, what I had to go through, and stuff like that. It's just I think it's just a conversation that we really need to have. But for me, I consider us all the same. I don't give a damn. What side of the line you were born on. I mean, just if you go to California, same thing in Texas, Arizona, like you'll see a lot of cities named Spanish names, things like that. So for me, it's all the same. But I think Chavez Jr. did say that too about Oscar back in the day, and I do remember Marquez saying that. And I don't know if he really meant that. Maybe he's just trying to get under Diaz's skin. Yeah, you have to fight, maybe get under his skin to get him to open up a little more, because we know that he was a sharpshooter, counter puncher, man. So if you can get that dude to open up, there's plenty of opportunities for him to hit him, But I definitely don't agree with that statement from Marquez, though.
I remember that Japanese dude that was telling Ray Vargas like he's more Mexican than him. Remember that? I didn't even get like. Here's the thing, though. Like, I just think he wanted Ray Vargas to make it a shootout. Like, you know what I mean? And Ray Vargas stuck to a game plan, and that's that. You know what I mean? But look, obviously Chavez and De La Hoya already made amends, and all that's water on the bridge already. You know what I mean? They've had a nice, like, it's in Spanish, but like one of those kind of similar to like what they did with like the with Kellerman, bro. Like the what's it called? The face-offs, you know what I mean?
Face-off,
but
yeah.
it's just like a conversation, and they talk about it and stuff like that. So Theo Media Brothers, happy birthday, D-Style, #HCP, Hispanics causing panic. Hey, man, I appreciate that, brother. Much appreciated.
Hey, you could buy a lot of Tecate Lights with that, Holmes.
You know what? I might just get the regular Tecate. I think I can afford the extra $2.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
Con carácter, yeah.
Con carácter. You know what I mean? That's right. Shout out to you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Brown gone. Jose Yepes. Brown isn't a real Mexican, he says. Come on, brother. Like, speaking of not real Mexican, bro, like, those are always the best Mexican fights. Like, when one Mexican sounds the other Mexican, he's not really a Mexican. Because like the other dude like comes out, like tries to prove to him in the fight he's a real Mexican, you know. Because that's what Vargas was doing to De La Hoya, bro. Like
I was just gonna say that.
Like, you're not a real Mexican. Like, March 9th, Raider. Today's my birthday, actually. There you go. I'm 21 years old, bro. I mean, it's unbelievable. I feel young. You know what I mean? So
Tecate Lights all night, bro. He's of age now. You know, he's 21.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Brusco, how's it going? I'm at that age where I have to pretend I'm 21. There you go. Joe Lopez, 40 ounce. Tecate sucks. So come on, brother. You know what I mean? Like, don't break it down like that, bro. Come on now. Hit my like button, guys. Make sure you do that. Hey, well, what do you think about Ray Vargas? You know, apparently he's going to fight Gary Russell Jr. Just moved up, and he's going to fight Gary Russell.
Yeah, man, I was disappointed that we couldn't get that Vargas Navarrete fight. Man, I mean, it could still happen. Yeah, it could still happen. But yeah, the Gary Russell fight's a good fight, man. You know, we all say a lot of things about Russell and his inactivity, and you know what? Ray Vargas has been pretty inactive. I think that was the last time he fought, wasn't it? When he fought that Japanese dude that lived in Mexico. Like, that was a long time ago, man. I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that, but I know it's been a long time since Ray Vargas has been in the ring. Both guys been inactive, but I think it's a good fight, man. Very interesting style clash in this fight.
Right.
I'm gonna have to really do some studying of some film before I give a breakdown on this fight, but fantastic fight though, man. I really like it.
Yeah, man, the base getting a lot of heat in the chat. You funky, you know what I mean? What's going on,
That's
bro?
all right. We're all, you know, the Northern California is always hated, man, but it's all good, you know.
Yeah, well, like El Paso is El Paso, you know, and what we would do was the strong would stay, and then all the weak ones we would send them all to California. You know what I mean? Like, hey, go over there. You know what I mean? So that was a passage way. I just totally made that up, but it sounded very believable, right?
Wow, Boxing Dialogue did say that was Ray's last fight in mid-2019. Wow, that's crazy.
Wow. Hey, shout out to the Bay, though. I mean, they had their little run with the.
Hey, man, there's a lot of Hispanics, man, in the Bay
couldn't quite
Area,
win
bro.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of Hispanics here, man, not just Mexicanos, man. I mean, like I told you guys, man, Mission District, San Francisco, they call that place Little Central America, man. Lot of Latinos there, man.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Jose Yepes is right, man. Canelo's in the Tecate commercials, bro.
I remember that.
Y'all have to respect, bro. Put respect in Tecate's name, okay? I'm just saying.
Him and Sly Stallone, you know, backyard.
Oh, I don't know if you guys are doing it right. Like you don't just crack open a Tecate and drink it. Like, that's not the way you do it. You know what I mean? You crack it open, put some lime, put some salt, like the right amount. You got to be a master at it. You know what I mean? And then you drink it. All right? Like, there's a way to do it. Like, do it right. And it's in a can and not in a bottle. Like, how the fuck you put lime on a bottle, like a freaking Corona. All right. Same. All right. Anything else you want to add about the David Benavidez, man, being the boogeyman? Ooh, like, you know what I mean? I'm so scared, you know, like, but hey, I will say this, you fucky. I'm expecting him to one, make weight. I'm expecting him to two, win this fight, and now he's back in the mix officially. You know what I mean? Now I can't say like, well, he just missed weight, and like that's gone now after he does that. You know what I mean? Like, look, once he proves he can make the weight, I'm expecting him to win. If Charlo's like, like, how much of a pass do we give Canelo, given the fact that he's trying to go for undisputed? Like, should David target Plant? Like, you know, like get that belt and then be like, yo, Plant doesn't want to fight you. Okay, I'll fight Plant. You know what I mean? Will Plant get in the ring with Benavidez? Or does he need, let me guess. He needs time.
More time. Yeah. You know, I've been scratching my head about why Benavidez and Plant hasn't been made for a long time now. These guys got beef. It's personal, you know, a lot of animosity between those two. And the only thing I could think of is just, you know, maybe they're trying to sell that thing as a pay-per-view because there's so much heat between the two guys. But the thing is this, you got a guy in the division now who's literally set the division on fire. And, you know, that's just the fact of it. You know, I mean, people call me a Canelo hater, whatnot, but just listen to what I got to say here. All right. Nobody really gave a fuck about 168 until Canelo Alvarez showed up. Am I right or wrong, D-Style?
Nobody, I mean, outside of hardcores, no, nobody gave a fuck.
Nobody. Now, all of a sudden, it's the hottest division. Now, all of a sudden, everybody wants to examine who's got a belt there when before it didn't matter. Nobody was ever trying to unify in that division. I mean, it was just one of those divisions that was kind of swept under the rug, you know, the boxing rug, until Alvarez showed up. So the thing is this, if these guys want to crack at this guy, you know, and get on pay-per-view, make a big payday, and make a huge statement by actually beating him, you know, and, you know, you get yourself a belt. Plant's got the belt right now. I don't know if he plans on fighting again this year unless it's Canelo. He might just take the rest of the year off for training. You know, it seems like this guy needs forever to train to get a fight. He just fought last month. I mean, geez, he might just wait until September to fight Canelo, you know, and not fight in between. But the Benavidez Plant fight that will be a brawl. I mean, that's like Brandon Rios, Victor Ortiz 2.0 in a way, except they weren't friends, you know, in the beginning, but there is some real heat there. Hopefully PBC does the right thing, man, and makes that fight. But Canelo, you know, I have no issues with what he's doing right now. He's going for undisputed. So, you know, if he's going to continue to put in the work, these guys got to put in some work too, you know?
Yes. Look, put in that work. And yes, Calix, it was popping during the Super 6, but that was a while back, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's, dude, I think G-Funky was still in high school during the Super 6, bro.
Hey,
I don't know, man.
To all you guys hating in the chat, guess who won that tourney? Andre Ward from Northern California. Bay Area, stand up, baby.
But he never left the Bay. Like, he stayed in the Bay the whole time, bro. The home field advantage for the whole tournament, bro. Well, he fought the final in New Jersey, but yeah. Big Dog Willie, you're a Canelo hater, Chief Funky. Canelo is the Ali of Mexico. Man. You want to respond to that? It's directed to you.
Hey, man, you know me, Big Dog Willie. I'm the biggest Canelo hater out there, you know. But to touch back on Andre Ward, you guys know I like to support the fighters from the area. And when Andre Ward came out of the Olympics, he was a gold medalist. There was a lot of hype. A friend of mine who passed away was a professional boxer back then, was in that same division. And they actually Ward's team actually reached out to our gym and it was a real possibility. My friend could have fought him for his very first fight as a professional. They decided to go another way and fight some guy looked like they found behind the back of a Denny's or something to fight Andre Ward in his first fight. I mean, the dude was literally complaining that he couldn't breathe, that he was out of breath after the first round. But we did hear a lot of rumblings about things happening in the gym with Ward, that he was real chinny. And then when he got dropped by Boone, we all kind of like, oh, shit, maybe it was real what we were hearing. But I got to be honest, man, I was not picking him to win that tournament. But he surprised the hell out of me. And, I gave credit where credit was due. I did not pick him to win, but when he won it, I was like, hey, he's the guy,
Is it fair to say that you were influenced by the stuff you were hearing, and then you got some, like, you saw that knockdown, you were like, oh, it must be true. Like, you know what I mean? It was like you were a victim of circumstance, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yes, in a way. But, hey, he shut my mouth and proved me wrong, so I got to give him the credit, man. But yeah, Andre Ward, man, one of the best fighters to come out of this area.
Yeah. And by the way, for anyone that says, well, they never tested it. Oh, Kovalev tested in that first fight. Like he caught him with a good shot, dropped him, and Ward got back up, and he finished that round. That shows me a lot, personally. Make sure you guys jab my like button. See if we can get to 100 likes by the end of this one, man. Hit my like button, guys. Ant-Man says Canelo's a captain worthy. Europeans love him. All right. Man. No way would Ward beat Canelo at this time, says Tracy Girl. I mean, Ward's been out of the ring for so long, bro. He would need at least a tune-up or two before getting the ring with Canelo.
It's almost been 4 years now. Yeah, it's almost been 4 years since that Kovalev fight. He'll definitely he will not jump straight into a Canelo fight right now.
Absolutely not.
That would be ballsy to do at this point. But damn, that would be a mega fight. That would be a mega fight if that happened, and it would get even bigger if he comes back, fights a couple of guys, a couple tune-ups, looks great, and he says, all right, let's do this thing. Like that would be a huge pay-per-view.
It would, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine? Like, man. That'll be some, man. Hey, once again, man, shout out to Son Teo for that support, brother. Here's what I want to talk about, man. About damn time. So it's the 50th, just recently passed the 50th anniversary of the fight of the century. Frazier versus Ali. Before our time, of course, but everyone still knows about that fight. Most of us have seen that fight. Amazing fight. Bro, if you do yourself a favor, guys, look up Ali's gloves from the first Frazier fight. Look how those gloves look. Bro, like he hit Frazier with everything. Frazier didn't go anywhere. Yeah. Frazier also dropped Ali, and he gave him his first loss, and that was a big deal. But Philadelphia, he got a statue in Philly, commemorating the anniversary of that fight. Finally, because they had a statue of Rocky, and I love the movie, but I mean, holy shit. All right. We have to hear fighters always say, oh, Rocky is the example, the epitome of what a fighter should be, blah, 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 right? G-Funky, like, what do you think, man, about Frazier finally getting his just due?
It's crazy, that it took this long. And, yeah, that fight, one of the all-time great fights, one of the most anticipated fights of all time in boxing history.
200 million people watched that fight.
Yep. And that was before pay-per-view was even a thing, you had to watch it on what I believe was called closed circuit for some people. My dad and my uncles, they always tell me about that fight, and they say that was like they said, like the first pay-per-view of like that you'll ever see, like as far as an event, a sporting event goes, the Super Bowl had already been played a couple years before that. But this thing was like, man, crazy. And if there was a good documentary on it on HBO back in the day, And I just remember they were showing a lot of footage of people in the neighborhoods, New York, Philadelphia, just arguing back and forth, kind of like we do here on YouTube, when we're split about a fight, and it lived up to the billing for sure. Great fight. Everybody showed up. A lot of famous people were there. Even famous drug dealers were there at that fight. And just a classic, man. And it'll go down in boxing history, man, as one of the best fights of all time. But the Thrill of Manila is right up there with it too, man. Another good fight.
Yeah. Unbelievable trilogy, one of the greatest ever. And hey, shout out to Joe Frazier. Rest in peace to him. All right, Joel Diaz, the trainer of Advil Urine. All right. Hey, apparently, man. Now, I'm right with you. We talked offline about this. I'm like I didn't even know this dude had fans. Like that. And but we know he does. I showed the clip, right, of the whole, that entire group, chanting for the dude. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody chanting for him and all that. Hey, man, let me ask you this, you funky. What do you make of these threats from urine fans saying that, he was paid off and to help Canelo and look, Mexican descent. He's helping the Mexican fighter. Obviously, something wasn't right with urine. He looked like, because I think what it was, just really quick. I think I see some people saying how the stage was too bright for him, and I think that's true. I really do believe that. I even think Canelo was holding back to carry him, and he still. Because dude, there was so many openings for Canelo that he did not take. Because he's trying to carry this guy, to go rounds. And he was just out of it. And Joel Diaz is like, he's trying to motivate him, and he's not responsive. And it's like, do you want to continue? And he's not saying anything. He kind of left him no choice, pretty much, But what do you make of the threats, bro?
I mean, it's ridiculous, man. Too many things going around the boxing world today for people to be thinking like this. But I mean, the guy, like you said, he didn't want to fight no more. He got dropped one time, went back to the corner. I remember hearing Joel Diaz asking him, you want me to continue or I'll stop this fight? What do you want to do? At that point, if the fighter doesn't respond the way that you think he should, call the fight off, and he didn't seem to complain after the fight was over. We've seen it plenty of times where fights have been stopped either by the trainer or by the doctor or even the referee. And the guys, they get upset. They're like, man, what are you doing? Diego Corrales, one of my favorite fighters from my hometown, got his mouthpiece busted open in his fight with Casamayor, literally pierced through above his lip, through his face. He's got pouring blood out, and they had to stop that fight because of that injury. And he wanted to continue. To me, this guy quit flat out. And for anybody to think anything else, I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I don't understand, again, where all these fans coming from for Yildirim. I didn't even know. Nobody knows who this guy is. And all of a sudden he's got fans now. They're threatening Joel Diaz. This is crazy. What are they going to say next? That he spiked his water and that's why he didn't perform good? Was Yildirim's, was his costume too heavy? I don't know. Too many things going around these days for stuff like this to be happening on the regular, man. It's ridiculous,
Interesting take by Sonteo. He says, in the same interview, he said he got death threats over the Pacquiao-Bradley fights. Joel was Tim Bradley's trainer. Those fights helped establish Diaz Bros and Nino, their name in boxing. Look, I don't know how, for example, I've received death threats on the internet. They don't really mean anything. I haven't taken any of them serious, So I don't know to what degree Joel Diaz was getting death threats. To be honest, like you know what I mean. Obviously, in his position, he does. I don't think he should take he should take all precautions. But I mean, this is dumb, bro. Okay, let's not normalize. You see how like let me put it this way. You see how ridiculous it sounds. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like think about how ridiculous it sounds. And you could literally put it all together if you want to, right? Oh well, yeah. I mean, Canelo, he did test positive one time, so he would be the type to cheat. And Joel Diaz is of Mexican descent, so why he probably would be able to, want to help a Canelo Alvarez out. You know what I mean? Yeah, it makes you could make sense of that if you want, bro. You know what I mean? Like you could make a conspiracy out of it, and maybe some are believing it, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, we're looking at this because Yildirim doesn't have a big following on YouTube. We look at it and we say, "Oh, that's ridiculous," but yeah, it's not normal to accuse trainers of drugging their own fighters.
Definitely not.
Hint. Okay. Hint, ladies and gentlemen. No,
Yeah.
but yeah.
We still got people now making up things about a fight that happened over a year ago. Still running along with this crap. And like you said, let's not make this a normal thing because somebody, one of your favorite fighters lost. Let's make up all the excuses in the world. The fight was fixed. Let's send death threats to the trainer because he's a Mexican descent. Canelo's a Mexican descent. So obviously you had to help him out. Like these are just ridiculous claims with nothing to back them up. These are unsubstantiated claims. Let's drop the nonsense, guys, please.
Right. I mean, I'm just telling you right now. Hey, here's what I'll say, man. Black and Brown, I apologize, bro. I just saw your message, but I mean, we can bring you on for another show for sure, brother. We're about to wrap this one up real shortly, but don't threaten trainers because your fighter didn't win. Okay. All right. Especially when like y'all know, like Yildirim wasn't gonna win, right? Like you knew that, right? Like I know you guys were marching in the streets and all that, and you wanted to believe in something, but like you knew he wasn't gonna beat Canelo, right? Like they know that, right? Don't they know that, you fucking?
I don't know. I think maybe they had all the faith in the world that this guy was going to pull this massive upset, but it was never. I mean, he would have to just close his eyes, swing, and land a lucky punch. Win this fight. He had no chance.
No chance at all. Well, shit. It is what it is,
So apparently somebody's saying that there was people outraged when he lost to Eubanks too. I mean, what? I don't know.
What do you think?
Honestly, I don't know. This is the first I've heard of this guy. He kind of came out of nowhere on the scene. As soon as David Benavidez lost his belt on the scale. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, I sent a message to Black and Brown, see if he wants to jump on really quick. Because he did message me, so maybe we could get his thoughts on the boogeyman. He can hype him up a little bit, you know what I mean? All right?
He can clear things up.
That's right. Tracy Boxer Girl says, yes, the dude went at ape shit on me about being a Canelo fan. He's like, you're a dumb bitch. You must be from UK, calling me a racist. The hate runs deep for Canelo. I don't get it. Man.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Yeah.
Right. But, I mean, that's a little over the top. Come on, guys. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Don't get over the top on us. You know what I mean? That's not cool at all.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand. People get so emotional over a sporting event. Like it's just not that serious, man. I'm sorry, it's just not.
A shout out to D Hodges in the building as well. All right. Big Dog Willie in the building. Shout out to you and thank you for the support, brother, as well. And Haplotype in the building. Jose Yepes. Right. Here's what I'll say. If Black and Brown doesn't jump on, we'll close it up in a little bit here. We're not going to stay on that long, guys. Both of us have had a really long day. All right. So you guys should be like really thankful that HCP has graced you with our presence. Nah, but I'm joking. All right. So let me get this right. All right. You thought whoever is doing these threats, okay? Because I remember threats could get so laughable, bro. Like I used to work at a job where dudes would call in with a bomb threat. You know what I mean? Like it always happened. And no one ever took it serious. Like, all right, everybody walk outside, and we're like no one ever took the shit serious ever. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's at that level. Like he just has random troll. Maybe he's getting trolled or something. I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that somebody really thought Yildirim had a shot and it had to threaten the dude's life. I'm sorry. I have a hard time believing it.
Me too. These guys must not watch boxing. And I guess they forgot that this guy lost his last fight too, and that he had no business being a mandatory for the WBC. Just pathetic, man.
Like we're over here wishing the fight never happened. And then you have dudes acting like dude had a shot. Like, really? I don't know.
But it's not the first time that this happened with Joel Diaz. Remember when Bradley beat Pacquiao in the first fight? Bradley too got a lot of death threats from boxing fans. I think it was mostly, we seen a lot of crazy Pacquiao fans online around that time. I know you remember that D-Style for sure. These guys would say some of the most craziest things. But yeah, it's definitely not his first time dealing with something crazy like this,
I think Raw Boxing says Yildirim had no chance. He's part of the conspiracy. He was paid off by Canelo and Joel Diaz to say that in order to add to the conspiracy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because, we could put this conspiracy together and make it sound believable. I think we could pull it off.
Definitely.
Shane with Ice, how's it going? Haplotype, I like him because he's a kid and boxes is for his daughter, no Paul. All right. Tracy Boxing Girl, that dude that went after me turns out is from my city. I'm like, I ain't no racist. Raw Boxes, the fanatic fanboys are crazy.
Crazy.
You know what? I'll see the lawyer says about the cartels, bro. I'm not going to say any names, so don't ask me, guys. But I know fighters that have, cartels have invaded. That's not the word. Have invested in them, and they lost what they were supposed to lose, and they've been fighting to pay off the cartels ever since. You know what I mean? So crazy stuff.
It happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do it unless you know for sure you're gonna win now. All right. Andre Molina, MMA fighters aren't elite level, neither punching or kicking. All right. If a boxer is built to fight the canvas, I do not see yada yada yada. I got you. Okay. All right. Well, So, if you guys want to shoot us any final questions before we wrap this one up, all right. I'm gonna try this here, and if it goes through, it goes through. But one more thing. Do you think Billy? I'm getting I don't know what G Funky. I keep feeling like Billy Joe's gonna pull out, bro.
Yeah, I know people are getting a little paranoid about his recent comments about how he had the flu and he's still far off weight. But he came on Twitter and said, "Look, I got plenty of time, 7 weeks to train. So if he's not making any excuses, then why should I, or why should any of his fans or anybody else? I'm going to hold him to his word." I think he understands at this point he has to take this fight. It's been talked about for quite some time now, and he has to take it. No backing out now. They've already made the announcement after the Yildirim fight, so he's got to come through this time, man.
Got to do it. Raider Alibaba said El Chapo series on Netflix was pretty much accurate for the most part. Damn. How you figure I was Italian? Okay, I don't know about all that, guys, but he knows he's getting KO'd. Right. Man.
I think it's a good fight, man. I really do.
Let's talk about it really quick.
Sure.
Here's what I want to say. Aren't there fighters out there that are really good at what they do? And no one's ever going to really cut off the ring on them throughout an entire fight, dominate them and beat them. Like, I feel, and maybe I'm wrong when I say this, but I feel like unless Canelo cuts off the ring and dominates, he can't be seen as the winner of a fight against a guy that's moving and running away from him.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. We've seen this plenty of times in boxing where a guy who's got a style like Billy Joe Saunders likes to move around the ring. If you can't slow him down from doing that, a lot of people are going to say, yeah, that guy won the fight, but it's cutting off the ring is one thing. Like, I kind of want to save this for my breakdown. But
sure,
it's not something that is like in terms of real life. It's not a quick money grab. You know what I'm saying? It's an investment that takes time, because when you get in with a guy like that, that's going to move around the ring, like, that's what they do. That's what they're best at, And you have to work to take away their best tool, which is their legs at that point. It's not an easy thing to do, man. It's not something that happens, quickly.
Overnight,
it's something, like I said, it's an investment, man. It usually pays off. You start to see it pay off around 9, 10, 11, getting into those championship rounds. You'll start to see if that guy was able to put that pressure, and make them stand still, make them move a little bit more than they want to move. You'll start to see it pay off then. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be one of those fights, man, where it's like, almost like a tale of two fights. One part we see this happening, and then the second part we see another thing happening.
Absolutely. That's where it says Canelo did duck Andre Ward. I mean, Canelo was at 154, brother, and Ward was at 175 at the time. I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know if you're joking or what, but I don't see it at all, actually. So
yeah, I'm trying to think when that. I know Triple G avoided that fight. All his friends, his team comes out and says, "Hey, we'll fight anyone from 154 to 168." Lada's the first one to say something. I'll fight you at 160. Nah, we're good off that fight. Not a good fight. And then Andre Ward, well, I'll fight you. Nah, we don't want that fight. So that's what I remember. But I don't know, maybe something else. Maybe you could let us know, boxing historian.
I'm not sure. Darkness has fallen. Canelo needs to bust Billy Joe Saunders' right bicep to take away the jab. I know he busted Smith's bicep, but I don't think that should be a game plan. It's hard to bust the bicep. Like, if he's like, why target the bicep when you can target the ribs? Like, I just, I don't know, but that's all I'll say about that.
I mean, if Billy Joe is going to be a moving target, which I think he will. And if Canelo has issues slowing him down or catching up with his foot movement, I think just fucking hit him anywhere you can. You know, if you got to hit him on the hips, hit him on the hips. You're gonna hit him in the back, hit him in the back. Hit him on the arms, the elbows, you know, wherever. Just hit him somewhere. You know, you got to make him feel something. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, look, we definitely want to reserve a lot of that Billy Joe and Canelo talk because we have a long ways to go. I know you want to touch on it uncensored, so you guys can catch that on Chief Monkey's boxing channel. So make sure you do that, okay? So
yeah,
it might get heated, but I'm holding back the heat. You know what I mean? That's all.
Yeah, and 92 AKU, you know, he emailed me, asked me for an invite, and if you still want to come on tomorrow, you know, you're always welcome on the channel, man, to talk about it. But I would just say this, guys. Watch some of Chavez's fights. This guy was a master at cutting the ring, a master. And he was very underrated as far as his defense goes. You know, yeah, he got hit a lot. And but the relentless pressure and again, the cutting of the ring is something that I mean, just watch the Taylor fight. I know a lot of people feel like Taylor should have won that fight and that he might have been winning that fight if it went to a decision. But just again, that's what I mean about the investment. You've seen early on, Taylor was able to get off combinations on Chavez. He was able to hit him a lot more earlier in the fight. But guess what? Chavez kept that pressure. He kept right there with him. And you've seen as the fight went on, things started to change. You know, it's something that takes off, that takes an investment. It's not something that happens quickly, especially guys at this level, you know. But just watch some of his fights, man. The guy was a master at cutting off the ring.
There you go. There you go. We'll save some of that talk for tomorrow. Somebody came. JD says, so what do y'all really think, Charlotte, Duck, and David? What do y'all think?
Well, I can't officially call it a duck right now. Go ahead, D-Style.
Well, that's kind of where I'm going. Like, here's what I'll say. I think, like, here's the problem. Everyone thinks like everything's like, you know, for lack of a better phrase, black or white. You know what I mean? And what I'm meaning by that is, look, man, right? Sometimes you got to just look at the situation, okay? All I can tell you is this. Charlo said he would be interested in fighting Benavidez. He said he could knock the dude out, right? And Benavidez answered the call. All right? He rang on his doorbell, and Benavidez opened the door. And he's saying, come on in. And then Charlo wants to ask questions like a Jehovah's Witness. All right? You know, Jehovah's Witness, like they ring your doorbell. You know, you open the door. And then they want to ask you questions. Do you believe in God? Like, dude, you came here like knocking on my door. What do you want? But do you believe? Like what? Like, do you need anything from God? Like bro, like, what are you offering me? Charlo's like, nah, well, are you over 25? You got a vaccine? Let me see your papers. Like, you know, like what is this? Don't knock on the door, become a Jehovah's Witness now, Charlo. No, sir. Right? You knock on the door. What are you selling? What do you want? Right? What do you want? You want to fight? Okay, let's fight. When a dude says fight, we have a defense mechanism, bro. Fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say definitively where Charlo's going to go, but bro, you're both PBC. So where's that excuse?
Yeah.
Both of you are PBC. You're both with the same fucking like networking shit. Where's the excuse of that? Huh? Where's the excuse of that? Tracy Girl says, I slammed the door on them. I'm Catholic. Bye-bye. I've tried to, like, the worst thing you can do, dude, I'm Mexican, bro. We don't answer the door for Jehovah's Witnesses. Right? We like peek through the blinds and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, see where they're at and shit. You know, you go to the bottom blind. He's like, open it a little bit. You know what I mean? To see where they're at. Shh. That's right. I was taught to make no noise and wait for them to leave. Right?
Good question in the chat from Andres Molina. He says, if Estrada wins, in your opinion, is he climbing up the top 10 pound-for-pound list? I think you have to consider him. I mean, I feel like he's been frozen out of a lot of people's top 10, but, I mean, he's been on a good run. I mean, look, he had 2 fights with Sorong Visai. I feel like he won them both, although the first one, I believe, was a draw. Beat him clearly in the second. Gets his revenge on Cuadras, and if he gets his revenge on Chocolatito, I say why not? You know?
Shit. Yeah, why not? Hey, bro, let me ask you this. We'll end it with this one. We could always, you know, Black and Brown could always come in uncensored or something like that. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I want to end it with this. We probably had a long day, so we're going to end it with this. If Chocolatito, I wonder what you guys in the chat think, comes back, beats Gallo for the second time, right? Then avenges his knockout loss, Rungasai. That is a swan song of all swan songs, bro. That would be amazing. I don't think that's going to happen, but that would be amazing.
I agree.
What do you make of that?
I agree, man. After those brutal fights that he had, to come back and get this win, that'd be huge for him. I don't think it's going to happen, but we'll see, man. I'm rolling with El Gallo on Saturday, and man, I can't wait. I just wish that I was able to invite my buddies over, man, because they're big Chocolatito fans. Like I said, they're from Nicaragua, so they love boxing, man. I mean, they were always pack my place for Mayorga, Chocolatito. Good fights, man, and this is gonna be a barn burner, man. Like good old JR would say, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. I would want to thank everybody that showed up, man, tuned in. Make sure, again, share this on all your social media platforms. Hashtag HCP. Okay, at D-Style Boxing, at GFunky84. We will, you know, retweet your stuff. So just go ahead and share that on Twitter and all that. You know, by the way, Ioka versus Gallo Estrada is a hell of a fight.
Good fight. Hell yeah.
Let's do that fight. You know what I mean? So, or if Chocolatito wins, why not? You know? Lance Mayer, nice to see you. Haplotype, peace out. Chief Funky, any final thoughts?
Yeah, just, thank you guys for being here. Again, if you hadn't hit the like button, make sure you do that right away. Enjoy the fights this weekend. A lot of good fights. We got the undisputed welterweight women's champion of the world on the line. We got El Gallo versus Chocolatito, main event. El Bandera Roja makes his comeback. A lot of good fights, man. And for the weeks to come up, man, we got Ortiz versus Hooker coming up next Saturday. White versus Povetkin, the rematch. And, man, a lot of good fights, man. A lot of good fights. So, make sure that you guys keep tuning in to HCP because you know we're going to cover them. We're talk about all of them. And thanks for watching, man.
Hey, guys. That's what I'll say. And Sonteo kind of alluded to it there. Shout out to Jose Yepes. Chocolatito can only be good once as he ever was because he's not as good as he once was. If he gets past Gallo, there's nothing left in the tank against Rungasai. Well, let me tell you something, bro. We could just have a situation where, you know, that triangle theory, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
One guy can't beat the other, and the other guy can't beat the other, and that happens sometimes in boxing. So that's that. Hispanics causing panic, episode number 52. We'll be back next week, guys. We're out of here. Peace the F out.
Panic causing panic plus Gallo.